The bridge of the Stellar Dominion hummed with quiet activity as Commander Vextal studied the holographic display before him. The massive Zephyrian flagship drifted through space like a predator, its dark hull gleaming under the light of distant stars. Around the command center, his officers worked at their stations, their reptilian features focused and alert. "Commander," called Intelligence Officer Zalmir from across the bridge, "the reports on the new species are ready for your review." Vextal turned his yellow eyes toward the younger officer. After 30 years of conquest, he had seen dozens of alien races fall before Zephyrian might. Each new species brought the same pattern: initial resistance followed by swift defeat, then submission to the Empire's rule. These humans would be no different. "Display the data," Vextal ordered, his voice carrying the authority of countless victories. The holographic display shifted, showing a small blue and green planet orbiting a yellow star, Earth according to the intelligence files. The planet looked peaceful from space, with white clouds swirling over vast oceans. It was hard to believe such a quiet world could house a species that dared to expand into Zephyrian territory. "What do we know about their military capabilities?" asked Fleet Admiral Kratos, stepping up beside Vextal. The older Zephyrian's scales bore the scars of many battles, and his presence commanded respect throughout the fleet. Zalmir activated his datapad and began reading. "Our scouts report they have achieved faster-than-light travel only recently. Their ships appear to use primitive chemical rockets for short-range movement and basic fusion drives for longer journeys. We have observed simple energy weapons, but nothing approaching our plasma cannon technology." "How many worlds do they control?" Vextal asked, already knowing the answer would disappoint him. A species with advanced technology would have spread across many star systems by now. 3 confirmed colonies, Commander. Their expansion appears limited and slow. The humans seem more interested in research and resource gathering than military conquest. Fleet Admiral Kratos laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the bridge. 3 worlds? We have conquered over 200 systems in the last 50 years alone. These humans are barely more advanced than the cave dwellers we found on Kepler Prime. Vextal studied the tactical display showing human ship movements. Their vessels moved in predictable patterns, following standard trade routes between their colonies. There were no signs of military formations or strategic positioning. These humans had no idea how to fight a real war. "Their largest colony is here," Zalmir continued, highlighting a system with a red marker. "A world they call New Dallas. It has approximately 50,000 human settlers and appears to be their main mining operation in this sector." "Mining?" Kratos snorted. "While they dig in the dirt like insects, we have built the greatest military force this galaxy has ever seen. It would be almost too easy to crush them." Vextal nodded slowly. The Zephyrian Empire had not reached its current position through mercy or negotiation. When a new species entered their territory, they faced a simple choice: submit or be destroyed. Most chose submission after seeing what happened to those who resisted. "However," he said thoughtfully, "these humans might serve a different purpose. Our expansion has made some of the other species nervous. The Altarians have been asking questions about our intentions. The Centauri Federation has increased their border patrols." "You think they might unite against us?" asked Kratos, his tone suddenly serious. "Not if they see what happens to those who challenge Zephyrian authority." Vextal smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "A quick demonstration of our power against these humans will remind everyone in the sector who rules here." The plan formed quickly in Vextal's mind. They would not simply destroy the human colonies outright. That would be wasteful and provide no lasting message. Instead, they would defeat the human forces in a dramatic battle, making sure survivors escape to spread word of Zephyrian superiority throughout the galaxy. "Zalmir, what defenses does this New Dallas colony have?" Vextal asked. The intelligence officer consulted his files. "Very limited, Commander. 2 small patrol ships and a single orbital defense platform. Our scouts report the weapons are basic projectile systems, probably designed for mining operations rather than military use." "Perfect." Vextal turned to face the tactical display. "Admiral Kratos, prepare Battle Group Crimson for immediate deployment. 12 heavy cruisers and 4 dreadnoughts should be more than enough to handle whatever resistance these humans can offer." "The entire battle group?" Kratos raised his scaled brow. "Commander, that seems like overwhelming force for such a weak target." "Exactly the point," Vextal replied. When other species hear that we sent our best ships to destroy a handful of human vessels, they will understand that resistance is hopeless. Fear is often more effective than violence, Admiral. The bridge activity increased as orders were transmitted throughout the fleet. Weapons officers began charging plasma cannons, engineers checked shield generators, and navigation teams plotted jump coordinates for the new Dallas system. The Zephyrian war machine was preparing to demonstrate why they had never lost a battle. How long until we reach the human colony? Vextal asked his navigation officer. 18 hours at maximum hyperspace velocity, Commander. Vextal smiled again. In less than a day, the human expansion would end before it truly began. Their few survivors would return to Earth with stories of Zephyrian power that would keep humanity cowering in their home system for generations. There is one more thing. Commander, Zalmir said hesitantly. Our long-range scouts detected some unusual energy signatures near the human homeworld. The readings were unclear, but there seemed to be significant industrial activity in their outer system. Building more mining ships, no doubt, Krytos dismissed, or perhaps trying to construct additional colonies. It matters little. After tomorrow, they will not dare to leave their homeworld again. Vextal studied the star charts one final time. The human colonies were perfectly positioned along their invasion route, and eliminating them would clear the way for further Zephyrian expansion. In a few short hours, Battle Group Crimson would jump to hyperspace and begin their journey to New Dallas. Signal all ships, he ordered. We depart in 4 hours. Make sure every weapon system is at peak efficiency. I want this to be a flawless demonstration of Zephyrian superiority. As his officers carried out their orders, Vextal allowed himself to feel satisfied. Soon, the galaxy would remember why the Zephyrian Empire was feared across 1,000 star systems. These humans would learn, like so many species before them, that resistance to Zephyrian rule was both futile and fatal. Captain Jake Morrison floated in the observation deck of the UES Discovery, watching a massive asteroid slowly rotate against the starfield. The research vessel had been conducting mineral surveys in the new Dallas system for 3 weeks, and the work was both peaceful and profitable. The asteroid belt contained more rare metals than Earth's economists had dared to hope for. Captain, came the voice of Communications Officer Alex Turner over the intercom. You need to get to the bridge right now. We're picking up something big on long-range sensors. Jake pushed off from the observation window and glided through the ship's corridors toward the bridge. The Discovery was not a large vessel, just 40 crew members and enough equipment to analyze rock samples and map asteroid fields. It was certainly not built for combat. When he reached the bridge, Chief Engineer Lisa Park was already there, her face pale as she studied the sensor readings. Science Officer Emma Stone stood beside her, rapidly typing commands into her workstation. What do we have? Jake asked, settling into his captain's chair. 16 large ships dropping out of hyperspace at the edge of the system, Alex reported. They're not human vessels, sir. The energy signatures are completely unknown. Jake felt his stomach tighten. Humanity had been exploring space for only 5 years, and they had always known this day might come. First contact with an alien species. He had hoped it would happen under better circumstances than this. How large are we talking? He asked. Emma looked up from her console. The biggest ones are over 1 kilometer long, Captain. Their power output is enormous, far beyond anything in our databases. Are they scanning us? Yes, sir. Deep penetration scans. They know we're here. Jake stared at the tactical display showing the alien fleet. The ships were moving in perfect formation toward New Dallas, and their intentions seemed clear. This was not a peaceful exploration mission. Lisa, how fast can we get to New Dallas? He asked. At maximum burn, about 6 hours, Captain. But these alien ships are much faster than us. They'll reach the colony in 4 hours, maybe less. Jake opened a communication channel to New Dallas Colony Control. The delay was only a few seconds at their current distance. New Dallas Control, this is Captain Morrison aboard the Discovery. We have an emergency situation. 16 unknown alien vessels are approaching your position. Repeat, unknown alien vessels incoming. The response came quickly. Captain Morrison, this is Administrator Ben Hayes. Are you certain these are hostile ships? Unknown at this time, but they're scanning everything in the system and moving directly toward your location. I recommend you begin emergency protocols immediately. There was a brief pause before Hayes responded. Understood, Captain. We're activating our defense grid and contacting Earth for military support. Jake knew the colony's defenses were minimal. 2 patrol ships designed for asteroid mining, and 1 orbital platform with basic weapons. Against 16 alien warships, New Dallas would not stand a chance. "Alex, can you get a message through to Earth?" Jake asked. "Already trying, sir. The hyperspace relay is functioning, but it will take 18 hours for our message to reach Earth and another 18 for any response." 36 hours. Jake realized with growing dread that whatever happened at New Dallas would be over long before Earth even knew there was a problem. "Captain," Emma called out, "the alien ships are transmitting something. It's in our language. Put it on speakers." The bridge filled with a harsh alien voice speaking perfect English. "Human vessels, this is Commander Vextal of the Zephyrian Empire. You are trespassing in territory claimed by our people. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences." Jake looked at his crew. They were scientists and explorers, not soldiers. But they were also the only humans in position to respond to this threat. "Open a channel," he ordered. "Channel open, sir." "Commander Vextal, this is Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earth Ship Discovery. These star systems have been peacefully colonized by humanity. We have no dispute with your people and seek only peaceful coexistence." The alien's laugh was cold and frightening. "Peaceful coexistence? Humans, you have entered space that belongs to the Zephyrian Empire. For 300 years we have ruled this sector of the galaxy. Your presence here is an insult that cannot be tolerated." "We were not aware of your territorial claims," Jake replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "If there has been a misunderstanding, we are willing to negotiate." "Negotiation?" Vextal's voice became harsh. "Humans, you will surrender your colonies unconditionally. Your people will be relocated to reservation worlds where they can live under Zephyrian supervision. Refuse and we will destroy every human settlement in this sector." Jake felt anger rise in his chest. "That's not going to happen, Commander. Humanity does not surrender to threats. Then you have chosen destruction. Human Captain, watch and learn what happens to those who defy the Zephyrian Empire." The communication ended. On the tactical display, Jake watched one of the alien ships fire a brilliant beam of energy at an automated mining station orbiting a nearby asteroid. The station vaporized instantly, leaving only glowing debris scattered across space. "Dear God," whispered Lisa. Alex was already working at his console. "Captain, I'm transmitting everything we've recorded to New Dallas and Earth. At least they'll know what happened here." Jake stared at the display showing the alien fleet moving toward New Dallas. 50,000 colonists lived and worked on that world. They had families, children, dreams of building something new among the stars. Now they faced annihilation from a species that saw them as nothing more than insects to be crushed. "Lisa, how much can we push the engines?" he asked. "Captain, we can't fight those ships. The Discovery has mining lasers and survey equipment, not weapons. I'm not planning to fight them. But maybe we can help with the evacuation." Emma looked up from her station. "Captain, long-range sensors are detecting something else. There's another ship approaching from the direction of Earth." "Human? The signature is unusual, sir. Much larger than anything in our databases, but it's definitely from Earth." Jake felt a flicker of hope. "How long until it arrives?" "At current speed, about 5 hours. Just after the alien fleet reaches New Dallas." The tactical situation was becoming clear. The alien fleet would reach New Dallas first and begin their attack. The mysterious ship from Earth would arrive in the middle of the battle. Jake hoped it was a military vessel, but Earth had never built anything approaching the size Emma was detecting. "Set course for New Dallas. Maximum burn," he ordered. "And keep scanning that incoming ship. I want to know everything about it." As the Discovery changed course toward the colony, Jake watched the alien ships moving steadily forward like predators approaching their prey. In a few hours, humanity would face its first real test among the stars. He only hoped they were ready for what was coming. The Zephyrian fleet hung in space like a collection of deadly predators, their dark hulls reflecting the light of New Dallas's sun. Commander Vextal stood on the bridge of the Stellar Dominion, watching his tactical display with satisfaction. The human colony lay before them, defenseless and ready for conquest. "Report on human defensive capabilities," he ordered. "Exactly as our intelligence predicted, Commander," replied Weapons Officer Targan. 2 patrol ships have taken position near the orbital platform. Their weapons are charging, but the power levels are pathetic compared to our shields." Vextal smiled. The humans were brave, he would give them that. Facing overwhelming odds, they still positioned their tiny ships between the Zephyrian fleet and their colony. Such courage was admirable, if ultimately pointless. Begin the attack pattern, he commanded. Target the orbital platform first. I want the humans to see how easily we can destroy their strongest defenses. Commander, Intelligence Officer Zalmir called from his station. I'm detecting unusual readings from the edge of the system. Something large is approaching. Another human mining ship? Vextal asked, not particularly concerned. Unknown, sir. The energy signature is unlike anything we have encountered before. Vextal turned his attention to the long-range sensors. A single contact was approaching at high speed, much faster than the human vessels they had observed. As it drew closer, the readings became more disturbing. What is the size estimate? He asked. Nearly 2 kilometers in length, Commander. Significantly larger than our dreadnoughts. For the first time since entering the system, Vextal felt a flicker of unease. The humans had shown no evidence of possessing ships of that size. Their technology appeared primitive, their expansion limited to a few small colonies. Where had this vessel come from? Could it be from another species? Asked Fleet Admiral Kritos, moving to stand beside Vextal. Possible. But the approach vector suggests it originated from the human homeworld, Zalmir replied, his scaled fingers dancing over his controls. Commander, the ship is dropping out of hyperspace. The main display shifted to show the edge of the new Dallas system. Space twisted and rippled as the mysterious vessel emerged from hyperspace in a flash of brilliant light. When the energy dissipated, Vextal found himself staring at something that defied his expectations. The ship was massive, its hull a dark gray color that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Unlike the sleek curves of Zephyrian vessels, this ship was angular and purposeful, covered in structures that could only be weapon systems. Most disturbing of all, it was surrounded by some kind of energy field that made their sensors struggle to get accurate readings. Analysis, Vextal ordered, his voice sharper than before. Zalmir worked frantically at his console. The ship's configuration is completely unknown, Commander. I count at least 40 separate weapon emplacements, possibly more. The power signature is enormous, but I cannot identify the energy source. Could the humans have been hiding their true capabilities? Kratos asked. Before Vextal could respond, the communication system activated. A human voice filled the bridge, calm and professional. Zephyrian vessels, this is Admiral Kate Sullivan of the United Earthship Retribution. You are ordered to withdraw from this system immediately. Vextal felt his confidence return. One ship, no matter how large, could not stand against his entire battle group. He opened a return channel. Human Admiral, I am Commander Vextal of the Zephyrian Empire. You face 16 of our finest warships. Surrender now, and your death will be quick. Commander Vextal, the human admiral replied, her voice remaining perfectly calm. You have 30 minutes to begin your withdrawal. Failure to comply will result in the destruction of your fleet. The bridge fell silent. Even Vextal was momentarily speechless. A single human was threatening to destroy his entire battle group? The arrogance was beyond belief. Admiral Sullivan, he said, allowing amusement to color his voice. Do you seriously believe one ship can defeat 16? Your courage is admirable, but your tactical sense is lacking. Commander, the human responded, you're about to learn something important about human military doctrine. We don't build ships to achieve numerical parity with our enemies. We build them to achieve absolute superiority. Vextal laughed. 16-to-1 odds, Admiral. I have conquered dozens of species with far better chances than yours. Numbers won't save you, came the chilling reply. The communication ended, leaving the Zephyrian bridge in tense silence. Vextal stared at the tactical display showing the human warship holding position at the edge of the system. The vessel had not moved since dropping out of hyperspace, showing no sign of fear or hesitation. Commander, Targan said quietly, should we proceed with the attack on the colony? Vextal considered his options. The smart tactical choice would be to eliminate this new threat before proceeding with the original mission. One ship, no matter how advanced, should not be able to stand against his entire fleet. Change of plans, he ordered. All vessels target the human warship. We destroy this retribution first, then deal with the colony. Sir, Zalmir said hesitantly, perhaps we should try to gather more intelligence on their capabilities before engaging. Intelligence? Vextal's voice carried a dangerous edge. Officer, I have fought battles across 50 star systems. I have seen every type of weapon, every defensive system, every tactical innovation the galaxy has to offer. This is one ship facing 16. The outcome is inevitable. But even as he spoke, Vextal found himself studying the human vessel more carefully. There was something about its design that bothered him. Every detail seemed purposeful, as if the ship had been built by people who understood exactly what they were creating. All ships, he transmitted to his fleet, maintain formation and advance on the human warship. Prepare for full weapons engagement. The Zephyrian battle group began moving forward, their plasma cannons charging and shields at maximum power. On the tactical display, the human ship remained motionless as if waiting for them to approach. Admiral Sullivan, to all Zephyrian vessels, came the human voice again. Last chance to withdraw. You have 10 minutes before I demonstrate why Earth builds warships the way we do. Vextal cut the transmission without responding. 10 minutes would be more than enough time to close the distance and destroy the human ship. Whatever advanced technology they possessed, it could not overcome such overwhelming numerical superiority. But as his fleet moved toward the Retribution, Vextal found himself wondering about the human admiral's complete lack of concern. In his experience, only two types of commanders remained calm when facing impossible odds: those who were completely insane, or those who knew something their enemies did not. Looking at the alien human warship waiting silently in space, Vextal began to suspect Admiral Kate Sullivan was not insane. Admiral Kate Sullivan stood calmly on the bridge of the UES Retribution, watching the Zephyrian fleet approach. Around her, the ship's crew worked with quiet efficiency, their movements precise and professional. 5 years of preparation had led to this moment, humanity's first real test as a military power among the stars. Range to lead Zephyrian vessels? She asked. 2 million kilometers in closing, Admiral, replied Tactical Officer Ryan Blake. 4 heavy cruisers are moving ahead of their main formation. Kate nodded. The alien commander was being cautious, sending his fastest ships to test her defenses before committing his entire fleet. It was a smart tactical decision, but it would not save him. Weapons status? She inquired. All systems ready, Admiral, reported Chief Weapons Officer Maria Santos. Railgun batteries charged and loaded. Hunter-killer missiles armed and ready for launch. Kate studied the tactical display. The approaching Zephyrian ships were larger than anything humanity had encountered before, their hulls bristling with what appeared to be plasma-based weapons. According to intelligence reports, their shields could deflect even the most powerful energy weapons. Admiral, called Communications Officer Tony Clark, the Zephyrian commander is attempting to contact us again. Ignore it, Kate replied. Open a channel to the Discovery and New Dallas colony. Channel open, ma'am. Captain Morrison, Administrator Hayes, this is Admiral Sullivan. I recommend you use the next few minutes to move your people to minimum safe distance. Things are about to get interesting out here. Captain Morrison's voice came through clearly. Admiral, are you certain you can handle 16 enemy ships? Kate smiled slightly. Captain, the Retribution was designed specifically to engage multiple targets simultaneously. Trust me, we know what we're doing. She closed the channel and turned back to her tactical officer. Range to lead enemy vessels? 1 million kilometers, Admiral. They're beginning to spread their formation. Perfect. Kate keyed her communications system to address her entire crew. All hands, this is Admiral Sullivan. In approximately 2 minutes, we will engage the enemy fleet. This is what we have trained for. This is why Earth built this ship. Show them what human engineering can accomplish. Throughout the Retribution, her crew made final preparations. In the massive railgun chambers deep within the ship, magnetic coils powered up to levels that would have been impossible with older technology. The projectiles themselves were works of art, dense metal slugs designed to punch through any known armor at a significant fraction of light speed. Admiral, Ryan reported, enemy vessels are charging weapons. I'm detecting plasma buildup on all 4 lead ships. Range, 800,000 kilometers. Kate watched the tactical display as the Zephyrian cruisers closed the distance. Their formation was textbook perfect, their approach calculated to bring maximum firepower to bear on her ship. Commander Vextal was clearly an experienced military leader. 600,000 kilometers, Ryan announced. Maria, target the 2 lead vessels with railgun batteries Alpha and Beta. Full power, simultaneous engagement, aye, Admiral. Targets locked, railguns charging to maximum power. Kate felt the deck vibrate slightly as the massive magnetic systems drew power from the ship's fusion reactors. The Retribution had been built around its primary weapons, every system designed to support the devastating firepower of its railgun batteries. 500,000 kilometers, Ryan called out. Fire, Kate ordered. The ship shuddered as both railgun batteries discharged simultaneously. On the tactical display, two brilliant streaks of light raced toward the approaching Zephyrian vessels at incredible speed. The projectiles crossed the distance in seconds, moving too fast for any conventional defense system to intercept. The first projectile struck the lead Zephyrian cruiser dead center. The alien ship's shields flared briefly, then collapsed as the kinetic energy overwhelmed their defensive systems. The dense metal slug punched completely through the vessel's hull, creating a devastating wound that vented atmosphere and debris into space. The cruiser's lights went dark as it tumbled out of control. The second projectile hit its target with even more dramatic results. The Zephyrian vessel simply came apart, its hull unable to withstand the massive kinetic impact. Pieces of alien technology scattered across space in an expanding cloud of wreckage. Direct hits on both targets, Maria reported with satisfaction. Target 1 is crippled. Target 2 is destroyed. The remaining two Zephyrian cruisers had stopped their advance, their crews undoubtedly in shock at seeing two of their ships eliminated in seconds. Kate could imagine the confusion on their bridges as they tried to understand what had just happened. Admiral, Tony called out. The enemy commander is transmitting. He sounds disturbed. I'll bet he is, Kate replied. But we're not finished with our demonstration yet. Maria, prepare a spread of hunter-killer missiles. I want to show them our secondary weapons. Aye, Admiral. 6 missiles armed and ready. Kate watched as the two surviving Zephyrian cruisers began backing away from her ship, their weapons no longer charging. But they were still within range, and she had promised to demonstrate human military technology. Launch missiles, she ordered. 6 sleek projectiles shot from the Retribution's launch tubes, their advanced guidance systems immediately acquiring their targets. Unlike the railgun projectiles, these weapons were not designed for pure kinetic impact. Instead, they carried sophisticated warheads and AI guidance systems that made them nearly impossible to evade. The Zephyrian ships tried to defend themselves, firing plasma bursts at the approaching missiles. They managed to destroy 2 of the incoming weapons, but the remaining 4 adjusted their courses and continued their attack. Kate watched with professional interest as her missiles performed exactly as designed. They did not simply crash into the alien ships. Instead, they maneuvered around their targets, analyzing hull structure and identifying critical systems. Then they struck with surgical precision. The first surviving Zephyrian cruiser took 2 hits, one to its engine section, another to what appeared to be its bridge area. The ship's forward momentum stopped immediately as its propulsion system failed. Emergency lights began flashing along its hull as life support systems struggled to compensate for the damage. The second cruiser fared no better. Kate's missiles found its weapon systems and shield generators, leaving the vessel defenseless but intact. The alien ship drifted in space, powerless and unable to fight. 4 enemy vessels neutralized, Admiral, Ryan reported. 2 destroyed, 2 disabled. Kate nodded with satisfaction. In less than 5 minutes, she had eliminated the Zephyrian advance force using only a fraction of her ship's capabilities. The demonstration had been both devastating and precise, exactly what she had intended. Open a channel to the enemy flagship, she ordered. Channel open. Admiral. Commander Vextel, this is Admiral Sullivan. What you just witnessed was a demonstration using only the Retribution's secondary weapon systems. Our primary armament has never been tested in combat, but computer models suggest it could crack a planet's crust. She paused, letting the implication sink in. You have exactly 10 minutes to begin your withdrawal from this system. If you choose to continue this engagement, you will discover what humanity builds when we are truly motivated to wage war. I strongly advise against testing our resolve. Kate closed the channel and turned to her tactical officer. Ryan, any sign of additional movement from the enemy fleet? Negative, Admiral. All remaining ships are holding position. I think we got their attention, Kate smiled. Good, but keep all weapon systems ready. Something tells me Commander Vextel is having a very difficult conversation with his superiors right now. Commander Vextel stared at his tactical display in stunned silence. Where moments before 4 Zephyrian heavy cruisers had been advancing confidently toward the human ship, now only debris and disabled hulks remained. The bridge of the Stellar Dominion was completely quiet, his officers too shocked to speak. Report, he finally managed to say, his voice hoarse. Weapons Officer Targan worked frantically at his console. The human weapons appear to be kinetic-based, Commander. High-velocity projectiles that our shields cannot stop. The impact energy was enormous. How enormous? Fleet Admiral Krytos demanded. Equivalent to several nuclear warheads, sir, but delivered with pinpoint accuracy at speeds our defensive systems cannot track. Vextal felt something he had not experienced in 30 years of conquest. Genuine fear. His shields were designed to deflect energy weapons, the standard armament of every spacefaring species in the galaxy. Kinetic weapons were considered primitive, inefficient, impossible to use effectively at interstellar ranges, except the humans had found a way to make them work. Sir? Intelligence Officer Zalmir called out, his voice trembling. I'm detecting additional contacts approaching from human space. Long-range sensors show at least 6 more vessels of unknown configuration. The tactical display updated, showing new contacts moving toward the New Dallas system. Vextal studied the energy signatures with growing dread. Each ship appeared different from the others, suggesting multiple classes of human warships. Time to arrival? He asked. 4 hours for the fastest vessels, sir. Vextal closed his eyes. If each of those ships possessed weapons similar to the Retribution, his entire fleet would be destroyed before they could inflict any meaningful damage on the humans. The tactical situation had shifted from overwhelming superiority to potential annihilation in the space of minutes. Commander, Targan said quietly, our targeting systems cannot achieve weapons lock on the human ship. Some kind of advanced countermeasure system is interfering with our sensors. What about visual targeting? Possible, sir, but at this range the accuracy would be poor. And our intelligence suggests their hull armor is designed specifically to resist plasma weapons. Krytos moved beside Vextal, his expression grim. Commander, I recommend we withdraw and report this encounter to High Command. We need to reassess human military capabilities before proceeding further. For the first time in his career, Vextal found himself considering retreat from a battle he had expected to win easily. The humans had demonstrated technology that rendered Zephyrian tactical doctrine obsolete. Their approach to warfare was completely different, not matching their enemies' capabilities, but developing systems that made those capabilities irrelevant. Sir, the communications officer announced, the human admiral is transmitting again. Put her through, Vextal ordered. Admiral Sullivan's calm voice filled the bridge. Commander Vextal, your 10 minutes are almost up. I've been monitoring your fleet positions and I notice you haven't begun your withdrawal. Vextal opened a return channel. Admiral Sullivan, you have demonstrated impressive weapons technology, but you face 12 more ships, including 4 dreadnoughts. Even with your advantages, the odds remain against you. Commander, let me explain something about human military philosophy. The Admiral replied. We don't build weapons to achieve parity with our enemies. We build them to end conflicts quickly and decisively. What you witnessed was a gentle demonstration. Our primary weapon systems are considerably more powerful. Vextal felt sweat beading on his scaled forehead, despite the cool air of the bridge. What exactly are you threatening, Admiral? I'm not threatening anything, Commander. I'm stating facts. The Retribution carries weapons capable of destroying entire fleets. We call them planet crackers because our initial tests literally cracked the crust of an uninhabited world. I really don't want to use them. The bridge fell silent again. Vextal had conquered planets, but he had never possessed weapons capable of destroying them outright. The implications were staggering. However, Admiral Sullivan continued, I am prepared to offer you an alternative. Withdraw your fleet immediately and never return to human space. In exchange, I will allow your damaged ships to recover their crews and accompany you safely out of the system. Vextal looked at his tactical display. His 2 crippled cruisers were drifting helplessly, their crews trapped aboard damaged vessels. The human admiral was offering mercy to warriors who had come to destroy her people. And if I refuse, he asked, then you'll discover what happens when humans are truly motivated to fight a war. I should mention that Earth has been building ships like the Retribution for the past 3 years. This is our oldest vessel. The words hit Vextal like a physical blow. If this devastating warship was their oldest design, what had humanity created since then? How many more ships were approaching the system? Sir, Zalmir said urgently, I'm reading massive energy buildup from the human ship. Power levels are increasing exponentially. On the main display, the Retribution began to glow with an ominous light. Structures along its hull were extending, revealing weapon systems of incredible size. Even at this distance, the energy readings were beyond anything in Zephyrian databases. Commander, Admiral Sullivan's voice had taken on a harder edge. You have 60 seconds to begin your withdrawal. After that, I will demonstrate our primary weapons on your flagship. The choice is yours. Vextal stared at the human warship now blazing with lethal energy. Around him, his officers waited for orders that could either save their lives or doom them all. In 30 years of conquest, he had never faced a decision like this. All ships, he finally transmitted, begin immediate withdrawal from the system. Rescue operations will recover crews from damaged vessels. Sir? Kratos looked at him in disbelief. Admiral, Vextal said, opening a channel to the human ship. The Zephyrian fleet is withdrawing. We will not return to human space. Acknowledged, Commander. Safe travels. As his fleet began moving away from New Dallas, Vextal watched the human warship power down its weapons. The glow faded from its hull, but the message was clear. Humanity possessed the power to destroy his entire fleet and had chosen mercy instead. Sir, his communications officer said quietly, High Command is requesting a full report on the engagement. Vextal nodded grimly. He would have to explain to his superiors how a single human ship had forced the withdrawal of an entire Zephyrian battle group. He would have to recommend that humanity be classified as a critical threat species, one to be avoided rather than conquered. Begin recording, he ordered. Military intelligence report classification urgent. Subject human military capabilities assessment, he paused, watching the retribution holding its position near New Dallas like a guardian protecting its people. Recommendation. Under no circumstances should Zephyrian forces engage human military vessels. Humans do not fight wars the way other species do. They fight to win, completely and decisively. Any future contact with human space should be diplomatic in nature. As the Zephyrian fleet retreated toward hyperspace, Vextal took one last look at the human warship that had changed everything. Admiral Sullivan had done more than win a battle. She had announced to the galaxy that humanity was no longer defenseless. The age of human expansion among the stars had truly begun.